the period ending the 31st of December of 2017. The period ending the 31st of December of 2017. The period ending the 31st of December of 2017. That you might have missed out on in the past few weeks, and then we'll be all back to normal next week with the New Year's news. So let me start. One of our favorite sites is a site called voicesofvr.com. This is a series of basically podcasts that happen several times a week. I'm really just going to say do keep checking it out, voicesofvr.com. Some great stuff there. I had the 601 episode had an interesting thing about virtuality in the 90s. And the one before that, in fact, 600, had Jerome Lanier's journey into VR, the dawn of the new everything. Also, Google announced that they are sharing their research into foveated rendering techniques. These are a different kind of visual rendering for 3D and virtual worlds. And Google are actually open sourcing their research into all that. And an article at Forbes, the, I guess, financial magazine, I think of Forbes really, on how blockchain is breathing new life into virtual real estate. Right, TVB Europe, or one word, tvbeurope.com. Had an article, it's a trade magazine, but it is available publicly. It actually had an article about Britain here and how UK television viewers are anticipating virtuality integration into their television sets. Apparently, 35% of British television viewers are predicting they're going to be getting VR in their TV very shortly, which is quite a high figure for me. Anyway, that's that. Leap Motion are exploring ways to make controller-free input more intuitive and immersive, and you can find an article about that. It's actually 22 days ago at roadtovr.com. And uploadvr.com, there's some upload and then VR, the letters, or one word.com. Have an article about the day the world changed is an anti-nuclear weapon VR memorial. And you can find the very the links to the day the world changed there. Very it was actually held at a Nobel Peace Prize ceremony as well. Right, over the past few weeks, we've had two conferences, and on my feed, which I forgot to read out at the beginning, actually, is twitter.com/Malburns. You will MALBORNS, or one word. You'll find all the links I'm mentioning on that feed, and you'll also find quite a few videos from an event we held called the OSCC, Open Sim Community Convention. A lot of talk sessions and presentations and stuff that you can actually find on the feed up to about 16 days ago or so. Right, moving a bit more up to date, 14 days ago, that's 2 weeks, isn't it? More voicesofvr.com, Danny Bittman's journey as a full-time virtuality artist. That was quite an interesting one. RoadToVR.com, Ben Lang reports that a company called Lytro, Lytro, is positioning its Lightfield tech as virtuality's master capture format. And light fields do seem to be a major step forward in all this stuff. Right, about 12 days ago, that's not so bad really, is it? Our good friends at hypergridbusiness.com, that's hypergridbusiness, all one word. David Karuki has a post about why our grid blaming Bitcoin problems on the vendor. I can't actually remember exactly what all this is about, but there do seem to have been some problems with commercial gambling, and why our grid is a commercial gambling grid, which uses a Bitcoin-based virtual currency. And anyway, they seem to have their knickers in a twist in some fashion. Right. er.educourse.edu. That's letters dot. Educourse, that's educause.edu. edu. VR and AR learners and as creators and world builders. Great. One of those lovely long titles that doesn't show up on the feed. Right. Learners as creators and world builders of our immersive future. This is a site actually called EduCourse Review, and it's an educational take on world building for the future. UploadVR.com. We're up to 9 days ago now, so we're moving gracefully forward. The CEO of the company Magic Leap was interviewed at UploadVR.com. Or actually, I think the interview was at VentureBeat, but it's in both places. They're a very secretive company, but what was interesting about this article is that it does actually show a picture, although whether it's a render or an actual photograph, I'm not sure, of the Magic Leap glasses part of what they're doing. And they're saying indoor virtual reality is the first step. Indoor augmented reality is the first step. There were mixed reactions to this photograph. I mean, a lot of people are saying, well, I don't know what we expected from Magic Leap, but it sure wasn't this. Was one headline I remember coming across. They look a bit like a pair of steampunk goggles, and they're certainly not as bulky as, the VR headsets that you see around these days. So we will no doubt find out more. Nothing too much, has been revealed, but it was actually interesting that the CEO, deigned to give an interview. So there you go. Right, UploadVR.com a few days ago. 2018 is the year virtual reality goes wireless. They're actually looking at the basically all our headsets, be it Daydreams, Oculus, whatever. The idea that everything should become untethered. Which is no surprise, really. You don't want to walk around in the virtual room tripping over the cables in the real world, let alone banging your head against the wall when you trip, etc., etc. So, yes, wireless would make sense, wouldn't it? Right, RoadToVR.com 3 days ago. Hard Light VR haptic vest gets significant price cut. This is actually a vest that you can wear with your gloves and your helmet and your sensor cameras and your handheld device whatsits and everything else you get with VR now. Well, you can also get a guest. It's like a sleeveless sort of body jacket, but with various straps and things attached, and it basically reads your body at chest level, and they've dropped the price from $630 down to $300, well, it seems to be a flat price cut. It used to cost $630 for consumers, and they actually charge $1,100 for businesses. But apparently now it is the same lower price thing, and they're encouraging bulk purchases by people, like arcades and stuff, VR arcades and stuff like that. So yeah, more tactile interfacing. UploadVR.com. Getting right up to date here. Minority Media, this is a company, are betting on VR arcade games to survive. This is, it starts off, virtual reality developers have been creative to survive the VR desert, where sales haven't kept up with expectations. And, shipping amounts, sales, everything else, it's it's an indistinct field. And it's been quite clear for some time that there's probably a larger pickup out of the home on VR and arcades and in enterprise and research development than there has been with the consumers, which is really hardcore gamers. Another company is really focusing on arcade games and building those up. UploadVR.com yet again has VR and AR news and education, which right, okay, that is actually for some reason that's actually a sort of compilation link. I actually there's some good stuff there, but I actually thought it was a kind of end of year roundup, but I'm not really sure it is. VR in the driver's seat, supposed to vrscout.com. Particularly focusing on the fact that a motor car company called Renault, Renault, have introduced a new car that drives itself and entertains you with VR. The theory here is that if you're in a car that drives itself now and you don't really have anything much to watch on the windscreen or outside the windscreen, then you can, the car comes fitted as a virtual reality environment I guess you could just escape into open sim or something while you're traveling down the motorway, but it made me a bit nervous actually. But the other use, of course, is the augmented reality approach. The car apparently can use its sensors that it uses for self-driving to interpret things surrounding it and in front of it and stuff. So if you are driving down the motorway, for example, it can change the environment, the virtual environment on your windscreen and around you, so you're in like outer space and signposts look like asteroids and things. So the car is still driving, but it's presenting you with a virtual scenario that is not the real motorway. Funny, strange stuff. I don't think I'll be around to be driving in those cars, but there we go. Right, voicesvr.com, again, the most recent one 18 hours ago, the principles of immersive sound design with Sally Kellaway. That was number 607 on their list. And finally from my main feed, good news here in the UK where I'm based. Opposed to digital trends, England plans to map the entire country in 3D using planes equipped with lasers. The Environmental Agency over here has announced an ambitious plan to map the entirety of the country, which is 130,000 square kilometres. That's about 50,000 square miles. And it'd be... once it's mapped, who knows? Maybe we'll have a virtual England to live in at real scale. Who knows? Anyway, that was today's news. So a little perk there. Right. I'm just going to have a quickie look at Google Plus. We will be on air again on the hour with our some New Year's Eve special show of our In World Review program. So do join us then. We will actually be joined, amongst others, by Thursday Ember. Her blog, hgsafari.blogspot.com, has several posts since we were last here. Basically, one announcing the 2 Safari calendars that have been released. And the other one was a write-up called Puzzles and Polls, which was about last week's Safari. And several others came back. How the Grouch Sold Christmas, Jewels in the Crown. Also some reposts of our various videos at the 2 conferences. And going back beyond that, a lot of it is promotion for the Hypergrid International Expo, which of course happened a couple of weeks ago and is now over. A fortnight ago, we have a post from hypergridbusiness.com, David Karuki again. It's a statistics post. Users up, but land down for the holidays is their interpretation. And also, somebody called Lawrence Pierce, writing at hypergridbusiness.com, posted an article saying net neutrality is dead, why that's bad for open sim grids. Then we have plenty more video posts from the HIE conference itself. Most of those are in French, German, Italian, or Spanish. But there were a couple of posts where we did a sort of in-world review, sort of half-time show during that conference where we were talking in English and a bit like this show, just for an hour, sort of discussing what had happened in the morning and sort of translating it and what was coming up, which, is a good way of getting the highlights in English, I guess. And, that's about it. I'm not going to go way back into the history of Google Plus. Melbourne's writer we don't need. I'm just going to check out Metaworld News, which is normally pretty much the same as Google Plus. Indeed, by the look of it, it is. Okay, so I am finished there. Now, I'd like to wish a Happy New Year. I don't think you'll hear him, to James Atloud, who's sitting here beside me. Because of the season and everything being a bit quiet, we have no actual developer news for you today. But of course, James is doing his masterful job on the cameras and sound mixing for you as I speak. So thank you, James, and Happy New Year, even though I know you can't reply. Right. So that's it for this week, and indeed this month. We will be back same time, same place, as it were, next week, probably with a fairly short bulletin. After all, it is only the first week of the new year, and things haven't quite wound up again yet, or won't have done, but I'm sure there'll be a little something to talk about. And as I said, if you're watching this channel live now, do stay tuned, because on the hour, which is about 35 minutes from now, we'll be bringing you a New Year's sort of special from In World Reviews. So we'll see you then or next week. Bye for now.
Okay, we're out.